there's so much. Let's start with the AT&T side. I think it's fitting. It started the week on Monday. We caught wind of this on Sunday. We did the podcast. You weren't able to make it, but pretty much everything that I mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
Tyrone was on the show. We had Zero Cool. It all kind of came together. I felt so good about it. I cut it up, put it into those little clips, and then I started dropping them throughout the week. And it almost felt like I felt vindicated because, a lot of situations, not that we're always correct, but honestly, it's like you watch the way things play out and you try to call it the way you see it. What's the most likely scenario? You try to play it out in your mind. Okay, this is what's the most probable, what's the most likely. And it was I thought it was a slam dunk. I really thought that was what was going to happen, and it did. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel pretty good about my grasp on the concept. I mean, it's nice. We have a little bit of information. We can kind of make those predictions and go with what we think makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It just goes to show, Sneed Man, that the podcast is very lasered focus in the realm of what's going to happen. We are anticipating what's going to happen before they even happen.
sure.
I mean, dude, that was a huge podcast. I was listening to it, by the way, late night, of course, replay, hashtag replay gang, of course. It was shocking to me on the replay hearing, I think it's going to be, quote from Sneed, I think it's going to be around 70%. Boom, 71%. I'm telling you, if you were a betting man, you would have won billions.
I think what it is, Moose, is I looked at the way it was structured compared to DirecTV.
Correct.
And that's if I feel like I have a good idea of what John Stanky wants to do now, which is good because it's way different than Randall's approach. I feel like Randall had his mind wrapped around this whole media thing, TV and wireless, and it all makes sense. And I just didn't get him. He didn't make sense to me. They took big losses. All right, DirecTV was I think the new DirecTV ended up being valued at like 15 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And then this new Warner Media gets valued at 43 billion.
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Well, the
Well, their value.
right. That portion that was taken
Mhm.
away from an AT&T stockholder share was in the Warner Media was 43 billion. So yeah, you can extrapolate, right? Multiply that 3 times, right? That gives you approximately 90%.
Mhm.
And then add a little bit more. So it's approximately $150 billion of value of this combined company, which is significantly more than what was paid for, 85 billion plus debt, so 100 billion, and 15 billion for Discovery. So definitely, it seems like AT&T made money from this, right? And what I've been told, Sneedman, is that this was the perfect move that needed to happen, period. Underlined, underscore, bold it. It needed to happen because the stock was not reacting positively when there were massive jumps in the HBO Max market share. They didn't give a damn. What the hell is the problem? Oh, the debt's the issue? No. The issue is that there was a telecom company trying to manage a media company. There was this notion of vertical integration, right? It's going to be studied in business schools for the end of time now that vertical integrations, vertical mergers do not work. Somehow, some way, Comcast, NBC Universal is the only one that is still left. And even
maybe it's because they offer maybe it was the amount of money for them that it just has a better perception amongst investors.
It's definitely interesting you mentioned that because in my opinion, after listening to day 2 of the news, right? So there was drastic news, right? Monday, it was a shock. Tuesday, even more news came out of it. Wednesday was kind of a lull. People were very upset. And then finally, Thursday and Friday, people got over it. It's back at $30, right? The stock. But here's something that's interesting. on CNBC, they straight up said the reason why there's going to be massive consolidation in the media space is because these smaller players will never be able to win. Never. Discovery Plus, Peacock, Fubo TV, what's the other one? Oh, Paramount Plus, right? All these little ones are niche content, right? Star Trek's on Paramount, Peacock, The Office, Parks and Rec. Fubo TV has Be in Sports, but now Disney, ABC and ESPN have the rights for La Liga, so everybody's going to be watching El Clásico, all that on ESPN Plus or on traditional ESPN via the TVs, right? So everything is consolidating, and now on Tuesday, no, not even Tuesday, on Monday, MGM Movies got bought by Amazon. So, and MGM owns the rights to James Bond, huge franchise. So, at the end of the day, Sneed Man, excellent execution that needed to happen. Poor communication in the sense that nobody has ever said that it was a bad transaction to begin with. DirecTV should have never been bought. Warner Media should have never been bought, should have never been fought for. That's what people are upset about. Right? Go ahead.
Right, but at some point, we have to look at Randall Stevenson. He's gone. It's been exactly 1 year. Well, what was he officially out last July, right?
2019.
Okay.
But yeah, officially out of the company.
Yeah. I mean, but it was already brewing in I think like January, February of last year. So
right.
It was happening. So the guy's gone who's responsible for those decisions and the former mind state of the company. John Stankey comes in, completely responds to the investor. Completely. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, he absolutely did what the investors wanted, which was reduce debt, start to pay off debt.
By the way, is there a phone next to your microphone?
Oh, possibly. My bad.
Yeah, I'm hearing that
feedback.
Yeah.
My bad. Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's good. Continue.
Okay. So the guy's gone. Randall Stevenson is out. Stanky comes in, starts moving around assets, sells DirecTV, reduces damage. Sells off Warner Media as its own company, reduces more damage, positions the company to start paying off more debt more quickly, and then retains the assets in the form of a separate company. So it's a spinoff, not just a sale. They'll continue to pay out at a 71% clip. I think he did exactly what they wanted to, although they did take some losses in it. I don't understand why the negative perception. Why would you sell? Like, is the dividend that critical? So all I can really think about is they're going to cut the dividend from whatever percentage to just, what, like 40%?
Yeah, basically, let's say 50%. Let's say 50%. Right.
Okay. So, and that's going to better position the company, which has now realigned its focus into wireline and wireless, and the wireline being fiber. Right.
Yeah.
They did exactly what we've been begging them to.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody keeps saying, you're a telecom. Here they are doing telecom things, and then the stock price plummets. To me, it was funny to watch those who criticized them for the last few years, dating back to 15 to 18. Now they start behaving like a telecom, and the shares go down.
Yeah, and it's because, a lot of people in basic stock market conversations, they suggest people buy a stock for the dividend because it will give you a percentage of the free cash flow, right, every quarter. A lot of people, Sneed Man, live off of those dividends, like actually have them.
So there lies the problem.
Right.
The disgruntled investor
right.
who is living off the dividend
correct.
is now pissed.
Correct.
So these deals aggravated those living off of dividends.
Right.
Which look, I'm no investor. I don't care about investor feelings. I look at the wireless networks and I'm always thinking to myself, how do they get better? Mm-hmm. Which requires investment, which means possibly taking away dividends from people squatting on shares.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so me and investors are not on the same wavelength.
And
you know,
that's
they're
actually
thinking, how do I make more money?
right. And that's actually something critical that we should mention now. Because of this move to divest Warner Media into its own company with Discovery, the merger of with the Warner Media and Discovery, CapEx after the close in the second quarter or the second half of the year, whatever comes first, right? CapEx will increase to $24 billion, Sneed, man.